Welcome, everyone. This is Arch Gabe, and what I'm about to share is my experience, and this is for educational purposes. I am not an attorney. Also, the knowledge I will share in this clip is not to be confused with the sovereign citizen bullshit, because there's no such thing as sovereign citizen. You will not find the term sovereign citizen in the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, or the state and federal constitution. Hit like and subscribe to Freedom Society of the Republics and hit the bell notification of all. So when I upload, you will be notified. 3 months ago, I was traveling on a road behind a shopping strip and I approached a stop sign and I stopped like for a half a second and there was no vehicles on the other side and I continued. Then I heard a police siren from behind me and I'm like, what the hell? The Gestapo came out and said, you ran past the stop sign. I look at him and responded something like, really? I didn't really argue with him. He asked for a driver license and insurance. Anyway, he wanted me to sign my name on his device, and I put under duress. Well, when I wrote under duress in his device, he wasn't happy about that. Anyway, he gave me a ticket and left. I told my wife that this cop, he's going to regret that he pulled me over. That night, I put on my laptop and I put together my abatement memoranda of law and denial of corporate existence along with the affidavit. And I sent it out to the clerk of the court, and that will take care of the ticket. Here's a comment about the abatement process from Melvin Stamper JD. He's the author from The Fruit from the Poisonous Tree. I did a clip about the fruit of the from a poisonous tree a few months ago. I'll put the link in the description below. There are many believe that special appearance by paperwork, motion, etc., nullify the court's jurisdiction. Under the emergency powers, this is a false doctrine. There is no remedy in challenging a court's jurisdiction except by abating its process. First, the abatements are not a challenge to a court jurisdiction, merely a good faith attempt to correct the errors in the process. Special appearance fail when the judge knows what he's doing. Under martial rule, judge do whatever they want whenever they want. So as long as he or she does not alarm the public or disturb the peace, jurisdiction is always granted to try the jurisdictional question. Even if one goes to a higher court, defendants grant jurisdiction without knowing it because they never challenged the process that creates the jurisdiction in the first place. The process is perfected by appearance, special or otherwise. Also, remember, the court is not the building, the judge, or anyone else. It's the paperwork. If the court paperwork is defective, there's no court and it ceases to exist. The only way to overcome the war powers court process is by abatement. Hit like and subscribe to Freedom Society of the Republic and hit the bell notification of all so when I upload, you will be notified. Again, I'm only sharing my experience, folks. Okay, this is for educational purposes and I'm not an attorney. I received a letter to appear in court and I was looking forward to it. Even though I sent my notice of abatement in a memoranda of law and denial of corporate existence along with my affidavit, I learned that you still don't want to ignore the summons. It's best that you appear because it's just going to hurt your case if you don't show up. 15 days had gone by, and I didn't hear back from the court to rebuttal my notice of abatement and memorandum of law and denial of corporate existence, and along my affidavit. So I sent them a notice of default and a subpoena duces decum. What is subpoena duces tecum? Subpoena duces tecum practice a writ or process of the same kind as the subpoena ad testacundendum. Pardon me if I'm not able to pronounce that. It's Latin, so doing my best. Including a clause requiring the witness to bring with him a produced to the court books, papers, etc. in his hands. Okay, tending to to this matter of an issue, and this is from Bouvier's Law Dictionary, 1856. So, in the letter to the clerk of the court, I asked to issue the subpoena ducis tecum for the officer as a witness, and to produce the following legal paper document records under his control for the trial date, as these documents are absolutely essential for my defense. Because the thing is, the court, this, the officer, the whole claim is as if there's a crime, and that obviously there's an injured party, or you have to have a witness to the crime. Anyway, I want to continue on. So just to make this short, I added in the letter any legal papers, document, or record under his control other than the document obtained by fraud without full disclosure that established that me is engaged in revenue taxable activity and trafficking in commerce. I'm not going to put everything on what I put in that letter. I'm just telling you some of the stuff that I put in there. All right. During my appearance, there were a lot of people in the courtroom. The judge called each person to come forward and state their first and last name. I remember this kid in his early 20s who pleaded guilty to, to having illegal drugs in his car. And most what I've heard, folks committed no real crime, i.e., no injured party or damaged property. And yet, we were forced to appear a bill of pains and penalties, while the municipal court is getting a stream of revenue. It said so many people are not educated to even understand or defend against the fraud placed upon them at the municipal level. Me, I sat in the front row, and I was just ready to defend myself. There was still plenty of people sitting behind me, and when the judge was looking towards my direction, it was kind of like it was like my turn. The judge just looked, and he just knew who I was. He said that he will sign the motion to dismiss, and stated that the officer who gave me the ticket is no longer with the police department. Oh, the officer has lost his job. Too bad. It's funny. Again, it's like all these people that he had to call up and ask to state their first and last name, but somehow this judge knew who I was. I thought that was funny, and it's interesting though. Since folks these days like to use the term "Where's your receipt?" Well, here's my motion to dismiss, signed by the judge. I left some personal info out. Sorry, I'm not sure if you can see the image. I tried to blow it up the best I can for this video, so apologize if you can't see it. The so-called judge and their fraudulent court basically have no real jurisdiction. And when the Gestapo impeded my rights to travel, ended his qualified immunities. That's why he lost his job. All vehicles and traffic codes are commercial, and that means they don't apply unless these thugs in uniform make a profit on the road. I'm not encouraging anyone to blow past a stop sign and a red light. Okay, they're there for a reason. You don't want to get hurt, or you hit somebody, or possibly kill somebody. Okay, so use common sense, folks. Here's some of the municipal court stream of revenue from 2022. I circled the image of San Antonio, Texas, made a whopping $5.5 billion in revenues for the crimes against the people, such as unlawful detention, coercion, and attempted extortion. It's truly unbelievable. I will briefly discuss the laws and statutes the Gestapo violates on a daily basis. The Fourth and Fifth Amendment mirrors the laws of your de jure state constitution before 1860. And a reminder, folks, this clip is for educational purposes. I'm only sharing my experience, and I'm not an attorney. I'll use Texas Constitution of 1845, for example. And also keep in mind, uh, this Constitution of Texas is still in effect today. So, in case if anybody's scratching your head wondering why I'm talking about a Constitution that's 1845, well, this is the last lawfully ratified Constitution of 1845, and it has not been repealed. So, just letting you all know, any Constitution after 1860 is part of the Reconstruction, and therefore they're not lawfully ratified. I'm thinking of doing a clip, a short clip about that subject, just to get everybody to understand. So, anyway, I want to continue on. Article 1, Section 7. The people, okay, shall be secure in their persons, houses, papers, possession from all unreasonable seizures, okay, or searches, and no warrant to search any place or to seize any person or things shall issue without describing them as near as near as may be, nor without probable cause supported by oath or affirmation. Article 1, Section 16. No citizen of the state shall be deprived of life, liberty, property, or privileges, outlaw, exile, or in any manner disenfranchised except by due course of the law of the land. Okay? Now, I just want to throw this out there. So when the Gestapo show up to refuse to identify themselves, okay, or produce a warrant at your door, especially that the no knock warrants, okay, they unlawfully entered the property and kidnapped. All right, folks, it's all that stuff. What they do is unlawful. Okay. Now I want to continue on here. Prior to the 14th Amendment insurgent system, okay, a warrant cannot be issued without first obtaining a lawful criminal complaint with a living victim. A lawful grand jury indictment, which allows both sides to share their evidence before any indictment can be made, and a lawful arrest affidavit. Without those three things being accomplished, any warrant that could be written would be unlawful. Okay. Now, before I continue, I just want to say this: in my experience, when the Gestapo impeded me from traveling on my automobile and gave me a citation, okay, he violated my natural rights, liberty, and due process. Okay, there were no injured party involved. Okay, folks. So again, I want to emphasize this: whenever a Gestapo pulls you over for a traffic stop, unlawfully seize your automobile, kidnap you, okay, or any use of force on you or to the point of death violate these statutes I'm about to read. Title 18, U.S. Code 241, okay, conspiracy against rights. If two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate, you know how these cop cars, they like to They like to come by like by 6 or 10 cop car. You ever see that inside of the highway? One car pull over, and you see like a mob of cop cars right behind them. See it all the time. Intimidate any person, any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district in a free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege, secured to him by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of his having so exercised the same, or if two or more persons go in disguise on the highway. You know how these cop cars they hide behind the bushes. I'm talking. They got the logo hidden, like you could barely see it. It's like it's just not there. It's an unmarked car. Okay, it's disguised. Okay, they violate that statute. Just go on disguise in the highway or on the premises of another. Okay, with the intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege so secured, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death result from the acts committed in the violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any terms of years or for life or both, or may be sentenced to death, folks. This is their statute here, okay? Here's the next one that they violate on a daily basis. Title 18, U.S. Code 242, Declaration of Rights under the color of law. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, okay, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities, okay, secure or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishment, pains, or penalties on the account of such person being an alien or by reason of his color or race than are prescribed for the punishment of citizens shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. And if bodily injuries result from the acts of committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatening use of a dangerous weapon. You know, these Gestapo, they like these military grade weapons that they've been getting. Explosive or fire shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for the terms of years or for life or both, or may be sentenced to death. Everything I share here, folks, you're probably asking why the police violate the laws and their own statutes. Because by design, we're not taught about law, meaning the law of the land, aka the common law. Okay? We don't read or comprehend the laws of our de jure state constitution. That's before the Constitution before 1860. We're only conditioned to be docile. That's how the insurgent system conditioned us. The Gestapo are not properly educated either on the law. And I don't mean statutes. Now, there are people out there that's committed real crime, i.e., murder, theft, damaged property, okay, need to be dealt with. But the thugs in uniform impede on people's liberty, natural right through unlawful detention, coercion, and attempted extortion. Okay? And whoever, anyone out there listening and you're not very happy the stuff that you hear in this audio, you know what? And you kind of like, you just back the blue. Let me just say this. The police, there's a couple of federal rulings that the police have no constitutional duty to protect us. I'm going to do a clip on that, and I'm on the subject. And also, I'm gonna also state how the police is a standing army against us. If anyone out there is listening, whether you are a local cop or a state trooper, ATF, FBI, or whatever agency in this insurgent governmental system you work to impose statutes and impede on your fellow countryman's liberty and natural right, you need to read your state constitution before 1860, okay, and the federal constitution, okay, and the federal statute that I just shared in this clip. As long as people are not educated on the fraud, okay, just on a municipal level, especially, this fraud will continue, and they will continuously enjoy their stream of revenue. Okay, share this clip with your friends, family, neighbors to help expose the fraud. Okay. Now, I want to go on and say this. I'm 3-0 in this process. Okay. Around 6 years ago, I traveled through I went through a yellow light and a light turned red while I was in an intersection. Okay. Anyway, they sent me a red light camera ticket. So what I did was is I filed my abatement, same thing like I did with the stop sign, right? I arrived at the appearance date, and there was no judge. There was only a few people sitting behind the table at the courtroom. I asked them, "Where's the judge?" One of them answered, "The judge is not in the building." I I just dumped my copies of abatement, etc., everything I mailed to this fraudulent court to them. They didn't know what else to say, and I left since there's no judge. I never heard back from them. A year later, I got a. Here's the other thing. A year later, I got a parking ticket. Okay, because I forgot to move my car. I did the same thing, the abatement and all that. I didn't hear anything from them in regards to appear or anything like that, right? Anyway, I think maybe a year later or something like that. I'm trying to remember. I got a letter from an attorney, and he said an attorney is acting as a debt collector, and he sent me a parking ticket invoice. So I just sent him my debt validation letter, and I haven't heard from them since. And that was like around 6 years ago. All right, folks. Um, I'll put the link, the abatement letter below. Okay, you will have to make the adjustments, research the laws and statutes in your state. Okay, folks. All right. Um, I'm grateful to share my experience with everybody. It's the war continues, but the victory over this battle, it's I feel really good to be in a position to share this. And hopefully, this will inspire a lot of people out there willing to learn and expose the fraud because the system makes the most money in the municipal level. Okay, because we're not educated. Okay, we've been conditioned for far too long in this. So again, it's the battle is a victory. I feel great that that this Gestapo lost his job. Hopefully, he'll do something more productive. That's something that's productive in his life. Who knows? But but anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by, and I really appreciate it. And don't forget, hit like and subscribe, and hit the bell notification to all, so when I upload, you'll be notified. Again, thank you all for stopping by. I will be back. Till then, take care. Bye.